The clone feature in UM-PMT is designed to allow users to do multiple scenarios on a field to allow side-by-side comparisons of the effect of different management options on the final PMT score. To enable the clone feature, go to the View menu and select Clone Editor. The first step then is to create the number of different scenarios you wish to compare. By default, the current selections of the field are the primary scenario, and to begin with, all the other clones are identical copies of the primary scenario. Now select each of the individual clones and edit them to create different scenarios. When editing, you may make changes to the particulate, runoff, and subsurface pages for a given clone. On this field, we have a P-loss rating of 111.5. For the first scenario, let's see the effect of changing the method and timing of the manure application on the runoff page. Then we'll return to the subsurface page to look at the P-loss rating. And the score is reduced a little to 107.5. And just a note, because there is no artificial drainage on this field, the subsurface component is 0, and therefore any changes to this page will have no effect on the score. For clone 2, let's look at the effect of changing the buffer type on the particulate page. And again, each scenario initially is a copy of the default scenario. So if you want to look at the cumulative effects of these options, you'll have to add them each time. So we'll go back and also reselect the change in the manure application, and then we'll go ahead and change the buffer. And then back to the subsurface page to look at the difference in score. The score now drops to 86.1, going from the high to the medium category. For clone 3, let's eliminate the starter fertilizer from the runoff page. And again, to show the cumulative effect to all changes in management, we'll again change the manure application on that page. Then delete the starter fertilizer. And again, also reflect the change to the buffer. And then going back to the subsurface page, we'll see a small effect down to 85.1. And finally, for clone 4, let's reduce the manure application on the runoff page. And again, incorporate previous changes. And then returning to the subsurface page, again a small effect down to 84. Once you've made your changes, you can compare the differences in score by selecting each clone from the editor while on the subsurface page. If there is a particular clone that you would like to make the primary scenario for the field, go to that clone and click on the Make Primary button on the clone editor. That scenario will become the new primary clone, and the previous primary clone is given the number of the clone that replaced it. When printing, you have two choices. If you select just the PMT box, only the primary scenario will print for each field. If you also check the clones box, the primary scenario, followed in sequence by its clones, will print for each field.